Getting this record these breaks and stuff, Dre. Cause
Yeah, I mean,
it's all kind of. But sometimes you do this, Dre. Sometimes you be all like on camera, you be like, but then on breaks you're like, hey, ladies, can what I'm saying? You talk to the ladies are all, but exactly. But you get on the mic and then everybody's like, your boy Dre is all, your boy Dre's all rough on the mic, but on the, I'm just saying, Dre. Sometimes you pull conversation out of the ladies a little easier, man. It's like Alita said, the presentation. Your presentation sometimes is.
Yeah, I mean, put it on the table with a bow.
Whenever I said I was gonna come on the show, I said I'm gonna try to talk like how it's just dudes sitting around.
That's
kind
true.
of give
and
y'all
you've always
feel
kept that.
of kind of how more raw we talk. So I mean, of course, I don't do
That's
that
the
when I
best
talk.
way.
Right.
Well,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I try to keep it that way. So I mean, that's my approach. But yeah, on the breaks, I want to try to get them.
Try to okay.
Yeah. Try to get more involved.
Well, we talk about experience as well, because with experience, it's one of those things where like you don't know it until you go through it. So let's say if you're dating somebody or you mess with somebody a little bit younger or things like that, like you can kind of already predict what might happen. Because like for instance, I have a sister that's 5 years older than me. She would always try to give me a little gem sometime. When I started smelling myself, feeling myself, I was like, listen, Marcy, you don't know the heck you talking about.
I'm out here.
I'm out here. I'm out here living. I'm really out here, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm really out here. I'm in these streets. And then I look back like 2 or 3 years later, I'm like, dang, I had this my sister back then.
But everything's about timing, though. Like,
Everything's
I used to
about
hate
timing.
that word, but that's the real.
No, that's so true. But so like say you're involved with somebody, because you're like, I mean, my sister and myself is a different kind of relationship. But with somebody you're dating, somebody you're involved with sexually, would that kind of, that affect y'all? Younger or older, I guess if you're giving them those gems, Tierra, have you ever had something like that? Like you're involved with somebody and you can see like, hey, you're giving them these gems, like this, you might experience this now listening to you. Do you feel like that would kind of put a strain on the relationship?
I don't know, because honestly, like, I grew up around all of my siblings. I'm the youngest of 4. All of my siblings are significantly older than me. And so even though that I'm young, I grew up around older people. I hung around their friends. Even my friends in college and high school were always a little bit older than me. And so I feel like I was always a little bit more mature than people in my age group. And so I never really dated anybody that's even like my age or younger. And so even that's like harder for me to think about, because a lot of the men that I've dated are at least like 2 or 3 years, maybe like 5, 7 like years. Like, I
was about to say.
So it's just different. So I think that honestly, no matter how old you are though, even dating somebody that's significantly that much older than me, like I was still able to teach him some things, and he was able to teach me some things, and so I feel like it's a two-way street,
right?
Honestly, so
you being the youngest of those siblings, so you were able to sit back and watch all those mistakes, those experiences, kind of like
with like some practical things. Definitely, I was able to sit back and watch some things that they did, but like as far as like relationships and dealing with people, I think that I had to go through experiences with that. But like some of the practical things, like don't do this, don't spend your money on this, stuff like that. But definitely like relationships and dealing with people, I think that I had to kind of go through my own experience with that.
Totally I think agree. That you gotta leave a lot of things up to experience. Like me, like I'm the oldest out of all of my siblings and cousins, so they pretty much all look at me for all the fuck ups. But then they still like make their own fuck up. So like I'm no like designated. It's like talk to your cousin, talk to your sister. They whatever. And I'm like they try and make me into I guess a cooler version of a parent. And I'm like, well, all of y'all done just came down on them. Like, what y'all want me to come down on us? So I just try and give like I don't really try and tell nobody what to do. Like I just try and give them general advice. Like something where they can like I guess have little checkpoints. Where stuff start to make sense. As opposed to do it this way, because when you like kind of I guess lay out a roadmap or a specific compass, like that limits people's experiences. Because if you do mess with the person or come across somebody who's going to do it exactly that way, then they do it that way expecting a certain result, and then when it doesn't happen,
and that's not their story. That's somebody else's experience or somebody else's story.
I feel like this year for me, I have like me and my father had like this crazy relationship where he says the most simple things, and I'm like, shit. It took me this long to realize, like, what I'm saying? But it's like, like you said, experience. You know, my experience. If I didn't go through all my experiences, that would have never made sense to me right now. You know what I'm saying? And like, I always looked up to like my uncle, and I would talk to my uncle about stuff, and I'm like, you know, I can't follow what he did.
Right,
certain things didn't work for him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you said, like that blueprint, that roadmap will be for that person. So if you give them like blanket advice that is just like, because when you're dealing with relationships, it's all about dealing with different human beings, regardless of it being an intimate relationship or a friendship, whatever.
Right.
So like, I feel like what I was saying about my father, he's just like, yo, you know, when you meet people, they tell you the truth. It's up to you if you're gonna believe it and listen and take heed to it or not. And you know, like when we was talking earlier about the people having kids and stuff, you know, once you get all the way in, you knew their truth, you didn't believe it.
Right.
You wanted to feel like you could change it, it would change for you. That didn't happen. So you know what I mean? It's like you know certain things, and you got those experiences. Your experiences help you build to something else. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, no, it's good you said it too, because that's the thing about it, because you have to go through your own story as opposed to trying to shape somebody and lay the guideline. You about to say something, Tiara?
Yeah, I just what you said kind of popped into my mind. Like, I think that it's not about, like, of course, looking at her story or his story and saying, like, oh, I'm going to learn from their experiences. I think the major problem is not learning from your own experiences. And so I think that that's one thing that you definitely need to look at. Like, so your own experience can be your teacher, if that makes sense, not somebody else's.
Yeah, you like, damn, I just went through this.
Right, like, why am I doing this again?
I'm like a glutton for punishment.
Absolutely. And it's funny how things like that happen. Some people, I have a few friends who say that they are horrible at choosing men to date. And then, like, I have terrible taste in men. And you have to look back on yourself and say, why is that? Because you keep falling for the same dude. Yeah. Or you keep doing things in your own mind. Like you said, people get in their own head sometimes. You can keep getting into your own head and ruining the relationship. So it may not even be the person you're with. It's you messing yourself up.
I feel like I have female friends that do this and male friends that do it. Like, you get to a point where you like something about somebody so much, it overrules everything else. And then you like, I can deal with this because I like this. And then when it gets to that point, you're like, oh shit.
Why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this to myself? Yeah.
But is it, like you brought up a point too, because I think sometimes people are always, subconsciously they want to kind of revisit a certain experience they had with somebody else as well. So that's why they might be still dating that same person, because they really want to have that same experience. They're saying they don't, but a part of them
subliminally.
I think there might have been some good parts in that relationship.
Right.
So then they meet another person that's similar to that, and they trying to.
Yeah, I think people try to revisit experiences because they feel like they got the answers to the test now.
Yeah. Right. I could do this better the
I'm
second
get to
time.
page 4, and now wrong shit. They changed page 5. What's going on?
I just put abracadabra all the way down. Didn't work this time.
So they've answered the questions for this old relationship, and they're trying to use them as a new one. Like, I'm ready now.
Right. Without realizing that you're dealing with someone else,
Test on that
completely different people. There's no way that you can recreate another person. No two people are alike. DNA, all that jazz. No two people are alike. Period.
Some situations are similar that you can use old experiences,
but never the same.
To navigate. But
Right.
yeah, it's never the same.
But there's always a new part where you gotta show your work.
Yeah.
You always have to show your. Yo, he sounds like he's in my class. You always have to show your work.
But I solved it though.
Yeah.
But how?
The answer's there.
How?
But you make a great point. Though. Sean brought that up. It made me think about myself. Like, a couple years ago, I was out in California, and I was with my uncle, and we were sitting around, and we were like on Santa Monica on the pier, drinking a beer, and he was just talking to me. He was like, "Man, you're getting older now, and everything's good." And he was just like, telling me about my pops, and he was just like, a lot of times your pops couldn't, adjust to you being like this or being artistic and things like that because your pops was from Mississippi. He was a military guy, and I'm looking back like wow, what I'm saying? Like, now it's starting to answer. He's like, now he's like, you can kind of see like your pops wanted this for you. But this is why it was so hard, because experience, he grew up 8 brothers, 3 sisters on a farm. So when you started talking about doing art and doing all this kind of stuff, it just scared the mess out of him. Yeah. He was like, so you kind of see now where he was going. But like I said, so it's timing as well.
Man, it's like, to this point, I have conversations with my pop that I'm like, damn, like this happened?
Right,
like, what I'm saying is you older now. So now it's like, you say stuff and they like, oh yeah, that happened because of this. I'm like, shit. That was the easiest thing. Like, my dad says this all the time, and I tell this to everybody. I know Artemis probably heard me say this a million times. You can't make people do what you want them to do.
Yep.
You know how easy it is to say that, but how hard it is to realize it when you living.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You'll argue somebody down. Why didn't you do this?
Right.
And then in mine, we all got different fingerprints. We do things different. We open the door different. Go to the bathroom different. So once you understand that about everything, even back to the sex and everything, it's never like how we was talking about earlier. It's like, you know, so you were saying that some dudes are eager and some dudes are thirsty. They might have took something you did a certain way and it made them think, well, I need to come a little bit harder, as opposed to it being like, well, oh, she's gonna think I'm thirsty. You know what I'm saying? So you never know, man. People just live and do things a different way than you want them to do. And once you get that in your mind, it's like, oh, well, shit. You know what I mean? It's a little bit easier.
Right.
But you don't have to suffer in silence.
Don't suffer in silence.
Just
Use your words.
say words. I say that to my students all the time.
Women
Use
like
your
communication.
please. I beg of you.
Women like communication. They're also good at not communicating. They like to ride in the car and look out the window.
Listen,
whole
that
nother
is a general blanket statement. I will tell you every
Here we go.
last
Here we
grievance,
go.
All right? Because I don't like to suffer in silence. It doesn't make any sense. I've had that experience before
sometimes
with
silence is
passive
good,
aggressive
though.
people. But the thing is, that's
Silence
passive
is
aggression.
a
You're gonna build and build and build until one day one of y'all snaps. And that's what I have a problem with because I'm not gonna stand for that. I'm going to tell you as it's happening. So when I'm done, I'm like, all right, I'm cool. You want a sandwich?
But see, the thing about like that is
I
like
like sandwiches.
the other thing
sandwiches.
people gotta learn though is like I'm a big believer in picking your battles. Like every grievance don't need to be aired
Very
out.
true.
Like sometimes it's just, especially once you really get to know a person and like you have an idea for like, you know, what buttons do what. Like sometimes you just really don't need to say that shit that's like on your mind. Like you gotta really just think about it, figure out if it's gonna be constructive, you know, for moving on and just like,
Choose your
because
own
usually
adventure.
like 5 minutes after that, sometimes like the shit will get worked out on its own.
Right, but what if it pisses you off? Like genuinely pisses you off to where you don't want to speak to the
You're
person.
gonna have to talk with a leader.
You said what?
With a leader, you're gonna have to talk it out. You're
No,
gonna have
I mean, I'm just gonna say like I have a problem with that.
I'm gonna put it in.
I mean, I think that also.
I don't like that. You gonna slide in my DMs?
Hey,
Hey,
I also agree with picking your battles, but if it's something that will take you out of your everyday functioning, it's considered an illness. It's an issue.
I mean, and that comes also down to like picking the right people. Like some
Right.
people just shouldn't bring that out of you where you gotta like complain to them all the
But that's an
goddamn time.
experience.
That's an experience.
If you end up
brings
with
it
that
out.
person and you experience that this person is always pushing the same button and
You
will
need to
not
get
take
out
their
of there.
finger off that damn button,
Get up out of there.
you gotta go.
So,
But I'm gonna tell you about yourself first.
well, a great prophet and Robert De Niro, and he said, "Do not get involved with anything you can't leave in 30 seconds." No,
so Dre Day.
Yes, sir.
Would we say that experience is the best teacher, or where would you rank experience as a teacher? Of course, after Alita, because she's the best
I was
teacher.
about to say I'm the best teacher. Like,
See, I knew that.
let's
See,
start there.
Yeah.
from my
And then there
experiences,
was
I knew that she would
experience.
like that. That's why I said. So after Alita,
appreciate you.
who's
Thank
the
you.
better teacher?
Well, I would say experience is in certain things, but let me give you an example. Like I have some friends that got married early in life, and they gave me some details of why they shouldn't have done that, which was I didn't really know myself. Now I finally figured out what I'm doing, blah blah. So make sure before you get married, you know what you want to do and the direction you want to be in. Okay, so that was their experience, right? But because they told me in detail, that was something that I didn't need to try to go jump into. So that's what I'm saying. Like other people's experience, as long as they explain to you in detail how they got there, they're really looking out for you by saying, "Look, man, like now this is who I am, but you know, I got my wife, we cool, but I'm moving this way, and she's kind of grown." So I understood that. So I would say no, like their experience helped me out.
Right.
So I would say other people's experiences or somebody that's already done what you're trying to do is better, especially if they can explain to you in detail. A lot of times people want to just throw some advice out there, 1 or 2 word answers, and then it just blows over your head.
don't do that
because you-
shit.
Because.
I want to do that
Period.
shit.
That's it. Because.
You know, like so somebody.
Crack is whack.
So it's not really. It's
Why
not
is crack?
Are you sure?
It's also knowing like who to take advice from and who
Right.
not to take advice from.
that's a
too.
big one.
And so I
Who had the right
definitely agree with
experiences.
you because there are some people that I'm like, you know what, that's a valuable piece of advice, and I'm gonna take that because I know that I can give her that credit. But like, there's some people who give some horrible trash advice, and so you just have to really decipher that and
They've
really
always had
filter
bad
through.
experiences.
Right, because they're speaking from
Yeah.
horrible experiences. But Odell, I think I'm the most agreeable person in the room. I mean,
You're the most agreeable?
I mean,
Just today. Just today.
They all
Catch you
agree?
next week.
I mean, they agree on everything from
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
That's why I ain't saying everybody agrees.
It's different.
Yeah.
So, Sean, what would you say, like, give us some final thoughts about this whole topic and experience? What would you say about it? How would you give your wrap on it?
Experiences, like, well, after her is the best teacher.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Lies and rumors.
Glad you acknowledged.
No, for real, experience is the best teacher. I feel like everybody has different experiences, so it, you can never know what you're gonna get when you deal with somebody. Whether you think that okay, they went through this, so it's gonna be this way. It's never that way, because when y'all get together, y'all create a different experience. So I just feel like you never know what you're gonna get.
Yep.
Life is like a box of crazy people. A box of crazy people.
Exactly. That's good stuff. Tiara, what would you have to say about that?
I guess like the first thing I thought about, especially when you mentioned job experiences, like even in the job market, when you're trying to get a new job as a new professional, a fresh professional with no experience, and all you hear is, oh, you need more experience in this, you need experience, and you're just like, how do I get experience if I don't have anything?
Right.
But what they're really looking for is how can you make the skills that you do have transferable or applicable to this position. So they're not looking for somebody who is an expert. They're looking for somebody that's moldable, that can learn from their experiences, that are open to being trainable. And so I think that's what I take away from experiences. Like, you're not gonna ever be the expert as long as you're able to have an open mind and really learn from the job at hand or the future job.
Okay, that's good. Good stuff.
Beautiful.
But Trina, what do you have to say about this?
Say experiences. If it's a teacher, I don't think it's the best, especially applying it to my life.
Well, it's not the best because the leader's the best.
Well,
Thank you.
Just for me personally, just seeing, I am the sixth of 7 children. So I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers. And they have a lot of experiences, not necessarily good experiences. So I learned a lot of what not to do based on their experience. So there's a lot of things that I have not experienced, but I know that I won't ever approach on because I've received it from, siblings or family members or whatever. So
Are
I
your
just
cousins or
think-
something?
I ain't got no cousins. No, no, yes, I have too. But just me personally, just the way that I live my life. Definitely, I have some experiences that I know, not to approach on certain things or what to do. But then also with my family members and friends, I know from somebody who's had everything and did something totally stupid, and now they are, homeless or on the street, you looking at them like, damn, he was just a millionaire like 5 years ago. Now you got $5. I got to give you $5, So just experiences from others.
Right. Well, speaking from experience, I've hung out with Trina and her niece, and I'm telling you right now, if you ever say anything about one of Trina's family members,
Go ahead. Say
0 to 100 real quick.
And listen, if they do not take their finger off
But seriously, how's your niece doing?
Go ahead.
She-
Wait, you want me to say what I said to you?
Don't do it.
You want me to say
Don't-
what I
don't-
said
don't.
to you? That was hilarious.
Don't do it. But anyway, we'll touch on that later.
Yeah, I want to know.
You want to?
Do you want me? Yeah, you can say it.
Well, no. So okay, real quick. So Trina and I have known each other for a long time. Okay, we used to work together and things like that. And like I said, we hung out. We hung out. Her niece looks nice, but she's married, right?
That's not what you said.
No, I'm saying, but I'm asking, is she married?
Oh, no.
What's she saying?
Giving us back.
Where's she at?
Yeah, well,
Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. She's the nicest looking young. I'm sorry. Okay, but anyway, yeah, we were hanging out, and then when we got back to work, and I was like, hey, and I said, where's your cute niece at? That's what I was trying to be. I said, where's the
and
cute
I
one?
said,
Turned up.
motherfucker, they all cute.
Are you a nice
To the
person?
dark side.
Motherfuckers here. Hello.
It dropped. Everybody was
That's
like,
it.
"Ooh," and I was dead serious.
Yeah.
And, they was like,
Yeah, she said this at work, so this pre-warning. But it's good to know your niece is
Yeah,
single.
whatever.
Anyway, we'll
How's your dad again?
I don't know.
See? Tell your mom I said hello. Artemis, I know you got to follow all this. I'm sorry, man. Artemis looking like I got to follow that.
Hey, man.
Well, but what's your thoughts, man, about this experience you just heard me and Trina talk about?
I mean, I'm all about the cute nieces, but not to get too deep into that.
Oh, that's best.
Yeah, all of them. But I guess speaking back to the point about me being the oldest in my family, like I haven't been given too many examples to precede me. So I mean, my view on experience is just like a blend of the two has been what have worked best for me. In addition to the fact that I'm a little hard-headed, so like, I mean, I get advice from pretty much the people older than me, parents, uncles, cousins, whatever. And I mean, they tell me things, and really, like, if it just doesn't make 100% sense to me, then I'm just not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it my way and just see what comes out on the other side. It's also just a mixture of like, I mean, some things I just gotta see. Like, some stuff it makes sense, but I also like, I had a part when I was younger, where I was just doing the things, that I was told, and like some stuff you come out on the other side, it's like, yeah, that ain't make all of the sense. So, in my experience, I found out that, you take what you can, like to her point about, who you take advice from. Like, I have a nice little system of people where if there's specific advice that I want and I expect it to be a certain way, not right or what I want to hear, but just something that's going to actually guide me on something based off of what that person knows or what their experience is, then I'll take that and then still mix it with whatever way I'm going to do it, to come out with something where it's like, okay, guys, I've done the research and, this happens this way too if you do it. So, that's pretty much my view on experience. Like, I think you should definitely, aim to create your own experiences.
There you go.
But, also use a little bit of wisdom too, like the wisdom that that's imparted on you and the wisdom that you gain. Like, you got to pay attention to shit.
Right.
That's a big part.
Right.
There you go. Now,
Now,
we've established that, Alita's the best teacher. So right after that, where would you rank?
So second
experience?
to me, I would have to say, I'm loving this, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I see she eating this up. She's loving it. You're like, I should set that up.
I mean, other than myself, quite naturally, I would say experience is the best teacher, because why? How will you know if you don't try it yourself? Granted, I'm not going to go out and try meth, because no.
Crack is whack.
Crack is also whack and cheap.
Crack ain't meth.
Says, but Whitney said crack is whack. So I listened to her. I mean, and like Tiara said, you have to be careful with who you take advice from. I'm one of the youngest in my family. My household, I was number 3 of 4. My cousins, I have like 100 of those. And they're all older than me. Some of them significantly. There are a few around my age, very few younger than me. So I've seen almost everything. I still decide to do things on my own. I was always told to forge my own path, but like Artemis is saying, you have to use wisdom imparted upon you. Like, you have to be able to take from other people and say, hey, I've walked near this path. I see that they went all the way off the cliff with this one, so I'm going to back up a little bit. And I'm going to try to go this way instead. Whether or not it works out for you, the point is that you're trying something else. Right. You can still make those fresh experiences for yourself while using what you got from other people. And I'm always down to learn. And like I said, when I was younger, I was told if you don't hear, you're going to feel. I was always hard-headed. So if something went down and I was warned against it and I did it anyway, I caught the full wrath. That's it. Like, I mean... And you know what? I was so stubborn that I went and did it again, but another way. Right. I made those experiences for myself. Now I'm very well-rounded. I'm very creative. Absolutely creative. Listen.
And that's why Alita is the best teacher.
You see? This makes sense, guys. Come on. Look, I'm going to go to school tomorrow. Like, my head all the way gassed up like, hey, y'all. But no, like, you have to feel these things for yourself, but you also have to be smart about it. You're not going to drive down Fair Street 100 miles an hour at any time of the day.
Yeah. Well, speak for yourself.
Sean has a different experience.
Sean is like, no, I'm gonna do
experience.
that because I heard it was exhilarating. But you have to be smart. Have a discerning eye. You have to think first. Think before you act, but don't be afraid to act.
There you go. Touch the hot stove.
Hey, listen. Put your hand on that stove. It's hot. You know it's hot. But if you put your hand on it anyway, you feel that it's hot.
Right.
You're like, okay, I'm not gonna touch that stove anymore.
I like touching hot things.
I'm gonna touch it because I don't want them to think I'm a punk.
I ain't no
There you
punk,
go.
so I'm gonna
I
touch
ain't
this
no
stove. You sound like my sister. My sister has touched a hot stove after I have finished baking, or she's touched hot food out of the oven at least 20 times, and I'm like, yo, this is hot. She touches it with her hand, and she'll just go,
Hot stove, hot stove.
Right.
and she'll do it over and over again until one day, she was like,
Look at them hands.
she had to look at her hands. Like, she had done too much. You
Her
have to
experiences.
think first.
Thank you very much. Brother Dre Day.
Well, I thought I already went by me. I mean, go ahead.
Well, I mean, you always say you for like, I don't know where you're going to go. You know, like, say, you've been pretty calm today and everything. You say you want to be beautiful today, right? You want to be beautiful.
Well, I mean, everybody was agreeable and everything. I appreciate
So
y'all.
you want to throw something out there everybody don't agree with? I mean, I'm just saying.
I think it was a good topic. Everybody, had a lot to say, so I was listening today.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, we went from sex to talking about our dads and all kind of stuff. I mean,
yeah,
it
we
was,
did. And we could have probably done more time on the sex thing, but it's all good. It's all good.
Well,
Dre
go
just
ahead.
put the sex back on the table.
My cup is empty. I'm ready.
And we couldn't get to all the topics. I think whenever we talked last time, Trina was saying that she had relatives that kept having all the experiences,
They're cute, too.
and they
They're all
never
cute.
ever, but they never learn from their experiences. So.
Yeah.
For some people, experience is not the best teacher.
Right.
If someone, like you said, has good discernment and they got really good common sense, maybe they can experience things. But I think everybody's different. A lot of people they're not learning things. They just get mad because people tell them what to do.
Right.
Some
And
people
keep-
are set in their ways, though.
Yeah.
So, I think it might be different for every person, experience. But for the most part, it was a good show,
That was beautiful, Dre.
Right, exactly. Natural selection.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I
Like,
think
y'all gotta go.
that's, everybody brought a lot to the conversation today. I appreciate it. I think it's always good because experience, one thing that we kind of brought towards the end, you're right, like, you got to discern, like, who you might get, your wisdom from or different ideas and things from. But at the end of the day, you have to be brave enough to know that you're going to have to go out there and create your own experiences and deal with whatever results that come from that, and not sit around and complain and cry about it, or because you can't live in that fear mode. You can't fear trying to try something. Oh, I might experience this, or I might experience loss, or I might experience. Hey, you don't know. You got to jump out there
jump out the
and do,
window
and then you got to start, like you said, also too. You got to make sure that you are, living from your own script, because that's kind of like what Sean and I were talking about. Now looking at a point where I'm now with my pops, knowing, kind of looking back, it's like, okay, I can kind of see now why there was so much,
Yeah, it's like that hindsight is crazy.
hindsight. Hindsight is a much. So but at the end of the day, experience is one of the great teachers. You're not the best, but it's something where you definitely also got to think about what what Trina's saying as well. Like, if somebody if they're only learning from bad experiences and they keep repeating them, then they gotta change their whole
I feel like
whole
those
setup.
people just like something about
They
that experience.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
They
For
enjoy
the rush or
it.
something. Like,
Yeah, you set in your ways.
set in their way. So, I mean, I think this was it's one of the largest roundtables we had so far. I appreciate everybody that came through. Real quick, I guess anything you want to plug, Sean? I know Sean got something you want to plug. I want to give
Oh well, yeah.
He's like,
take out
yeah. Brunch at BQE in Atlanta. If you're ever in Atlanta, get brunch. I get brunch on Instagram. Come have some good food and stuff. Spend Wednesdays.
Yes.
All vinyl, everything. Indiana Roundtable 2 is out right now. Please go get that.
What up, Indiana?
.bandcamp.com. It's amazing music, and everybody love each other.
yeah, it's
Okay,
beautiful.
okay. Tiara, anything you need to plug, anything like that?
I don't have anything specifically that I need to plug, but I did want to bring up Movers and Pacers Run Group. We run every Sunday, 7:28. We meet out in the green space in Atlantic
PM.
Station. We also meet Tuesdays for Sprint Night, 6:30, Old Fourth Ward State
PM.
Park.
Both of those are PM, not AM. Please don't show up that early. We're not gonna be there.
Miss Trina, anything you want to plug or anything like that?
Oh, no, nothing from Trina today.
Okay. Let's get to know your niece's
All
singer.
right.
Plug
Plug the nieces.
Right.
I I did not know she was single.
My niece's Instagram,
I
yeah.
did not know she
Right,
was
right.
single. Artemis, man, tell the people about Smoke and Mirrors, man, everything you got going on as well.
They didn't even ask me if I had anything I wanted.
I know, right? I just put it out there.
Got
Jump out the window.
Yeah, Smoke and Mirrors is in season 2. It's the segue footage shows the fact that it's dealing with love and relationships just from a more I guess authentic standpoint. It ain't really no fairy tale shit. We talk keeping it real, just like we are at this table. So Smoke and Mirrors, you can check that out on ChristmasInJuly1982.com. You can also check it out. It's another link, but it's too long. Just go to ChristmasInJuly1982.com. That's a simple one. It'll take you everywhere you need to go. And also this week, on Friday, Maya Bailey and I, we're releasing a whole lot of the unseen footage from the first documentary I did, Color Outside the Lines. It's basically that documentary served as a informational for the culture, and it helped really shape a lot of what people do in black tattoo culture, like in terms of all the people who get these reality shows, the recognition that these artists get. So now, from this standpoint, we have like 3 years of footage that nobody's seen but us, and we want people to see it. We want it to be out there and to exist in the world. So maybe 20 years from now, when people really want to start doing documentaries on these artists, they have the pieces to do it. So that's going to be coming out on drippinStarTV.com on 21st. That's this week, Friday, at 6:21. And aside from that, look for me on Instagram, Artemis Jenkins. Spell it with a U, ARTEMUS Jenkins. The black
All right.
kind.
Sounds good. Alita?
I plug myself. Ooh,
There you
and
go.
I said that with a Kendrick
Oh,
voice, didn't I?
yeah, you plug yourself.
I plug myself, yeah. Let's see. I'm revamping my YouTube channel. It's a natural hair YouTube channel. You can find me at youtube.com/inadvertentguru. That is INADVERTENTGURU. Thank you. Also, you can follow me at Alitas Way. Alitas_way. ALITAS_WAY on Instagram.
You had to get Trina on there with the natural hair.
Oh yeah, I was looking at Trina's hair. It's funny because we have the same hair color, and I will be contacting you for natural hair things.
As always, Dre has no social media. It's nothing online. Anything. He's off the grid. Anything you want to? I know. I asked this because it's commonplace.
Should you
But
even be
No, I
taking
mean,
pictures?
One day I'm gonna learn how to Twittergram.
Twitter.
Dre, you can't sit with us, bro. Like, you
I'm gonna do it one day.
what's the other thing you say?
Objects on you black
What's
people.
the other thing you say? What are you doing right now?
Learning
I'm
that good
interneting right now.
HTML.
Revamp
Y'all
that.
didn't hear what Dre said. So what are you doing right now, Dre?
I'm interneting right now.
What does that even
You
mean?
on the internets?
On the interwebs.
Oh, he's interneting. Oh, okay. Well, as always,
Like crocheting?
as always, listen, follow the show at ORT Show. Same thing on Instagram, as well as my personal, which is R by Odell. Everything is R by Odell, ARTBYODELL. Also, shout out to Dome Care Solutions. I have to put you on them, man. If you shave your head, yeah.
I came out here, my head ain't shaved. I know everybody like, man, what's going on? I'm fucking down
Well,
bad.
we're going to have to get Sean some of the Dome Care Solutions, man. Shout out to Richard, those people out there in Seattle, man. Always take care of us as
Shout out
well.
to Seattle. I gotta
Seattle.
get out there.
Yeah, I'll be back out there, man. I'll
I hear Seattle is lovely.
Shout out Sonny Bono in Seattle. He's a dope artist.
Yeah.
Check him out.
Now, ladies, make sure you get on that dome kit. Take care of your
Here we go. Care for the dome in your life. Follow Dome Care.
I like that. See, usually Artemis, that's Dre's job. See, Dre was being beautiful today.
Yeah.
Dre, usually at the end of the show, Dre will just throw something out there like that. But I like that, bro. I like
Hey,
that.
man. I like to sneak them in.
But nah, like I said, man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I think it was a great show. Make sure you follow everybody, everything everybody's plugged. Check them out, support them, support the show. Hit us up on Twitter, things like that, man. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes, rate and comment, subscribe. Check out the show. And we'll be back with another topic. Dre, you gonna be beautiful again next week?
No, it's not. I'm done.
I was a little concerned.
Yeah,
This Odell's RoundTable. We're out. Peace.
I'm gonna be beautiful.
talking